Well, that's just about awkward. Cats in the Cradle came out on the radio in my car, and I was waiting for a moment to where I could chime in and sing along, and then that asshole has to shove a rocket up my tailpipe. But anyway, how have you all been? I know it's probably been a while, but in the meantime, I've pretty much just been letting this game take hours and hours of my time, because, like I said in one video, I think it was the Call of Duty Black Ops 3 video, if I'm not mistaken, where I said I was gonna go ahead and buy GTA 5 for PC, only I didn't do it right then and there. I was going to, but I did not. I actually waited about a week, and I was gonna wait till Steam sales eventually, and then something amazing happened. The game went on sale. Obviously, Steam sales aren't actually happening right now. I think the next Steam sale is actually gonna happen on Halloween. It's like a Halloween week, probably. But anyway, talking about the title of this video, I'm actually gonna do some form of fucking story time, like traditional Capcomers, I guess, do. And I think I've explained this in a video a long time ago that I don't like doing specifically stories because a lot of the stories I have, including the one I'm actually about to tell, it has a bad ending. I mean, this one doesn't really have a horrible ending, but I mean, read the title. You know what happened. Making cut comms in 2017. No, but that's like one of the best parts about actually coming back to GTA 5 after such a long time is because they've added so much like new shit. I mean, I went on the like internet on GTA 5 and looked at some of the new cars and war vehicles they have and shit, and I just sat there with my jaw dropped. Well, that was a quick race. Well, 4 minutes. And you guys saw none of it. Just because this map is absolutely terrible, and I felt if I'm not gonna have fun racing, I might as well try to win. But about this story, while Black Knife XD level 5 struggles to complete the simple race. So there's technically two separate stories as to getting caught, or the first time getting caught, because one time I didn't really get caught, I just kind of said it. And that was technically my first time getting kind of caught with pot, or at least the idea that I smoked pot. But one time my mother noticed I was spending a good amount of my money that I was making, and I was hanging out with kind of a stoner looking dude, so she kind of put two and two together. So when I asked her to pick me up at like 12:30 in the morning, I just kind of blurted out I was smoking weed as like loud as I could, and then I followed that sentence with the words "deal with it." Biggest mistake I have ever made in my young adult life. And that was technically my quote-unquote first time. Oh, these fucking maps suck. I'm not staying here. I want the flying races, because those are fucking cool. No, but this next story is like the textbook definition of getting caught with weed. Oh, Jesus Christ, why does it take so fucking long to find iron? And just like most situations, this involves a parent, a car, and a group of friends. And these friends will be referred to as blank number 1 and blank number 2. And this didn't involve any car, this involved what was, well, supposed to be my first car, my first vehicle. And I could be slightly wrong on the year, I'm not 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure it is a 1996 BMW. And the only thing I could really tell you about it is it was my brother's. He bought it from this old car dealer dude. He's not a car dealer, he's a car collector. He does what my uncle does, which is pretty much buy older cars, restore the living hell out of them, make them look absolutely gorgeous, and then sell them or collect them. And this wasn't just an ordinary car. We bought it for like, I think $5 grand, somewhere between $4,000 and $5,000. This thing had like 10 grand worth of shit put into it, which doesn't sound like a lot, and it was kind of stupid. It was almost novelty to me, but it had and I will say this, it had beautiful paint. It had candy paint, it had literally subwoofers and speakers just every fucking where. Had a big glass panel like overlay in the trunk that kind of hid but let you see through to see like the $400 worth of amps. And of course, what ridiculous car wouldn't be complete without a big ass TV in the passenger side? Like seriously, the whole passenger dash was just like this little 22-inch TV. All of the displays were digital, your gas gauge, your tach, and all that stuff was digital. It was a really cool car, and I used it for a lot of really stupid shit up until we actually sold it. And of course, it had to be kind of a special day, the day something like this actually happens. It wasn't really special, because I was still kind of new-ish to smoking. I wasn't new. I had smoked joints and bowls and stuff like that all the fucking time by that time. But I never had much experience with bongs or bubblers and stuff like that, which just the idea of using like a pipe with water in it was really cool to me for some reason, because it was new to me and it looked cool. And on this specific day, my friend, blank number 2, actually bought a bong. Not only did he buy it, he was planning on coming over. Oh, I don't have my Corvette in here. Oh, That's kind of shitty, but whatever. I'll take the free car. And I know I don't have like shit in this game yet. It's because it literally started me out with $8,000 and everything else I've had to progress and get. And that is how you take a fresh car and turn it into a trash car. By literally getting it in a spot you cannot get it out of. So, I'm going to let Morse Mutual handle that. And then I'm going to let the morgue handle this. But anyway, blank number 2 gets a new bong. Medicated wants to try it. And blank number 1 was hanging out with blank number 2, so blank number 1 and 2 decided to come over to Medicated's house. So, you know, I go in the house and grab the key to the Beamer, open up the doors, then we all get in, and I went ahead and turned the power on to the car. I didn't start it because I was a dumbass. I just turned the power on so we could, like, listen to music. So we had music playing, we had bowls packed, we're passing this, like, little bong. It was, like, this big. It was just a little straight pipe glass bong with ice catch, and this motherfucker's gonna go ahead and piss me off. Yeah, because that's the reason I kind of stopped playing GTA 5, is because everybody on a public server is a bastard child with too much money, so they buy explosive fucking war vehicles and just chase down random people. Because, you know, they have tiny cocks in real life. But anyway, there we are, just listening to music, hanging out in the car, and then literally just packing bowl after bowl and passing it around and just hotboxing the living shit out of this car. And then somewhere in the midst of the music and the bass bumping and me and my friends laughing and the sound of snappers shooting down the downstem, I heard the front door of my house slam shut. And I'm not registering this as a thing at the moment, so I'm just still sitting back and laughing until I catch a glimpse out of my... Also, about the modifications on this car, I should have mentioned this especially. The windows were kind of illegally tinted as to, you know, they were too dark. And there was a couple times my brother actually got pulled over in this car because of the window tint and some of the other mods on it. But the bottom line is these windows are like super tinted in this car, so you really cannot see shit. You're an asshole, dude. You are just the worst kind of person. Back to the story, in the very corner of my eye, I can see a silhouette that kind of resembles my father. And apparently my mother was actually taking my dad somewhere, and they were leaving in the truck, which is right next to the BMW, of which I have the window ever so slightly cracked. And then after I, you know, start hitting everybody on the chest, like, everybody be quiet, you know, settle the fuck down. And the one thing that I really don't want to happen is have my old man rip this car door open. And you can just see everybody's head slowly turning, tracking my father as he walks past the front of the car. And as he walks up to the truck to get in the door, even open the truck door, he just jerked his head to his right, kind of looking towards the car. And I didn't move, I didn't touch anything, I simply just opened my mouth and the words, "Hide it," came out of my mouth. And then just immediately, blank number 1 just kind of shoves the bong down under the seat, dumping bong water on the carpet of this car, just trying to get it out of sight. And blank number 1 is in the back seat, throwing the pill bottle some fucking where. Because back then I like to be kind of professional and keep my weed in a pill bottle for some fucking reason. Even though a little plastic baggie or the cellophane off a cigarette pack would have done just as well. With blank number 1 trying to hide the pod and blank number 2 trying to hide the pipe, you slowly see my dad look towards the driver's side window of the car, in which the seats I am in. And like I said, the window was slightly cracked, so I'm guessing the tiny amount of air escaping from this vehicle managed to pass my dad's nose just perfectly. And then what happened next is probably pretty obvious. I am sorry. And then my dad slowly walks a little bit closer to the car door as if he's not close enough, and slowly opens the door only to let the biggest plume of smoke ever rise from the car doors into the atmosphere. I mean, this cloud was just fucking enormous to the point where I'm pretty sure the opening of those car doors got the entire neighborhood high. And this is kind of obvious, but pretty much the rest of the story goes, you know, yell, 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 tells friends to go home, and you are so fucking screwed. Also, a fun little add-on to that story is that pill bottle I told you blank number 1 just randomly threw. I actually found that pill bottle like 8 months later on like the back of the back seat, you know, a little like flat spot that some back seats have. It was right there behind the headrest, and I found it as we were driving it to the guy we were selling the car to. So, you know, that's pretty good timing that I find it literally right as we're driving to this guy's house to sell the car off, because I can only imagine this man's reaction. I mean, this guy kind of looked like a flat-out stoner, the guy we sold the car to, But I still can't imagine his response would be amazing to find a random pill bottle, a random labelless pill bottle in the backseat of his brand new car. So yeah, I guess that's the story of the first time I got caught smoking pot. And I don't know if I'll, like, I'm not gonna make story time like a series or anything like that, but I don't know if I'll continue, you know, doing little bit bob stories here and there. I don't know. Because like I said earlier, also in a video quite a while back, most of my quote-unquote memorable stories end very badly. This one ended actually very alright compared to other stories I have. And some of these other stories will never leave my lips. Like, seriously, there are some things that I won't even tell my girlfriend. And she understands that. She doesn't like that I won't tell her, but she respects my decision. There are some things that should just die. But who knows, maybe my absolutely shitty memory will come through one day and I can have some stories that don't end in absolute shit. But I think I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this video up here, guys. Or at least after I finish whooping this guy's ass. That's another thing I like about actually owning this game on PC is I'm gonna need one-handed drive. Literally drive, reverse, left and right are the WASD keys, which I use for moving anyway, and that is an ass freshly whooped. Thank you very much, sir, for playing the Medicated game, and thank you all for at least sticking around for the story. But while this man follows my dust, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this video up here, guys. So, if you did enjoy this video, please leave a like, comment, or if you have not yet, subscribe to the channel with your friends. It would really mean a lot. And as always, game on.
Let's get medicated. Man, let's get medicated. Let's get medicated. Man, let's get medicated.